Good evening, everyone, fellow Virgin Islanders, friends. This is your Senator Milton E. Potter, and I'm coming to you this evening with my midterm report. I know a full year has gone by. Very, very quickly. It's hard to believe, but we have completed over one full year as your senator. And I want to just express my gratitude to you and the people of the Virgin Islands for all your support and encouragement along the way. I also want to thank my staff because, the best kept secret here is you are only as good as your staff. So anything that we've done that was successful and effective, the quality and caliber of my staff really had a lot to do with those outcomes. We're on Facebook Live. I'm going to try to be succinct in my presentation to you today. I'm going to start with some of the initiatives that we have done, starting with non-bill related activities, community outreach activities, and that is a part also of being a senator. We were able to do, our first year in office, we were able to do two really, I think, tremendous initiatives, our Plant a Seed program, as well as our financial literacy wealthy habits program. Two very, very important initiatives. Beginning with our Plant a Seed, last year we were able to have over 250 persons ages 5 to 17 to plant a seed. And they started off with cherry tomatoes. And we worked in conjunction with the University of the Virgin Islands. They were our partners every step of the way. And we had several sponsors to include the Home Depot, Tanya Garnett Realty, Fruit Bowl. We had Eastern Lumber, Banco Popular, Popular Bank, SmartNet. We had a number of really positive community-minded businesses who came on board, and they were excited about assisting us with this program. Really, the goal of the program was really to focus on our food insecurity that we're experiencing here as a territory, just based on our location. So we developed a certain level of consciousness in the minds of Virgin Islanders. We hope that it sparked a love for home gardening. We wanted to replace screen time with green time, family green time. It's a family affair. We wanted to encourage Virgin Islands youth to pursue careers in agriculture. And it happened really at just the right time, because the University of the Virgin Islands had recently redeveloped their agriculture program, where they're currently granting associate and certificate degree programs in agriculture. And so we hope that this program that we launched, would really be the impetus to steering young Virgin Islanders to the vast careers in the field of agriculture, and ultimately tap into the 95% of the food that we import here in this territory. We can do better. I know we're never going to do 100% of the foods. We're never going to be able to grow 100% of the foods here in the territory, but we can do a lot better. We can do 40%. We can do 50%. So we're hoping, and we have an ulterior motive in developing this simple yet powerful Plant a Seed program. Hopefully, we're optimistic that it will begin to develop a level of consciousness about agriculture here in the territory, bring awareness to it, and encourage our young people. They are going to be the ones, they're going to have to be the ones to save the day for us, to get them involved and engaged. We responded to some initial concerns in the sense that our seniors felt a little left out. I know many seniors are involved in doing home gardening. We listened to them. So this second version of our program, which starts in March, so we want you to listen for the registration is now, registration is actually open right now. So you can go on senatormiltonpotter.com and register. You can call Pauline Dawes at 693-3519 or Dr. Clinton Stapleton to have your questions answered. But this year, seniors are going to be eligible to participate. So we have a category for seniors ages 60 and up. They can participate in this program. We expanded our program from just the cherry tomatoes. We now have bok choy. And in working with our partners at the University of the Virgin Islands and the Department of Agriculture, they suggested that bok choy would be a good addition to build upon what we had going right now with the cherry tomatoes. So I want to really encourage you, if you have a young person ages 5 to 18, or if you're a senior age 60 and up, I want you to enter this competition. It is a competition with cash prizes that will be awarded. So we look forward to seeing a large number of Virgin Islanders, young and old, participating in Plant a Seed Part 2, which is going to be launched in March of this year. March is next month. In terms of our community initiative, we also launched a financial literacy project called Wealthy Habits, where we had over 300 Virgin Islanders who participated in a program that focused on educating our youngsters in the areas of debit and credit, and budgeting and investing. I keep saying, and I made my son, my youngest son, who was heading to college as a freshman off island, I made him. He was doing the kicking and screaming, but I lived to hear him say, "Dad, thank you very much for forcing me to do this program." He participated in the Wealthy Habits program and initiative, which really gives our youngsters an overview of the importance of financial knowledge, learning those wealthy habits. The people who did well during the pandemic were people who were either in the information technology business or they were heavily invested in the stock market. This is something that Virgin Islanders, our young Virgin Islanders, our old Virgin Islanders must become aware of and engaged with. Okay, financial literacy. Okay, so we're hoping to branch this program off, extend this program to adults. So it's not just going to be a program for young people and teenagers. We've expanded it, or we will be expanding it to adults. So we want you to just keep in tune. We're going to provide you with all of the critical information about how you can get involved in this financial literacy project called Wealthy Habits. It is an awesome program, and like I said, last year we had over 300 young people who participated in the program. In terms of recent bills, recent initiatives that we were the primary sponsors for, we had a few that are working their way through the legislative process. Ultimately, as you know, the process begins with a bill being assigned to the Committee of Jurisdiction. Then it comes to the Rules Committee, the committee that I chair, and then it goes to the full body for final consideration. We've had several bills that passed through the Committee of Jurisdiction and are working their way through the Virgin Islands, the 34th legislature, as we speak. One bill that I want to really start off with is the Responsible Fatherhood Act of 2022. the Responsible Fatherhood Act of 2022. The bill essentially creates an 11-member council that will focus on developing programs and initiatives aimed at supporting fathers as they work to strengthen their relationships with their children. No, it's not legislating fatherhood, but it is establishing an 11-member council that will develop significant programs, initiatives, public services announcement, educational initiatives, that will, seminars. I know once upon a time we had a Man Up conference that we did. That's going to be the type of activities that are going to be created and established to strengthen the role of fathers in the lives of their children. Ladies and gentlemen, that is critical. It is very important. I know, to me, it is an anti-crime initiative also. The bulk of the persons, and if you had the sad opportunity to sit in on a court case in the superior court or the district court, you're going to see that the vast majority of the young people, the young men who come in the criminal justice system, are coming from environments where their fathers are either absent or not engaged in the lives of their children. That is the reality. Okay, I'm telling you, that is real. And we're hopeful that this program really provides our young men, young and old, with opportunities to learn the importance of fatherhood, learn conflict resolution skills, receive opportunities to become financially engaged in the lives of their children. We hope to develop a mentorship programs where more successful fathers can serve as role models for younger fathers. This makes a humongous difference. I know some people may say, just let people kiss sera, let things just happen, you know. But I believe that having initiatives like this, the program is going to be housed in the Justice Department, specifically under the Office of Paternity and Child Support. It's going to be a public-private partnership initiative where we have not-for-profit entities. And I want to tell you, the bill wasn't created in a vacuum. We had the assistance and the support of the not-for-profit entities in this government. Entities who are engaged in these types of activities. They're excited about the possibility of having a program geared specifically, an office designed specifically to focus on building up and strengthening the role of fathers, which ultimately will lead towards us strengthening our families. And you have heard me mention this over and over again. If our families are in crisis, without question, our communities will be in crisis. A lot of what we see on the streets that looks like crime is really a manifestation of our families in crisis. And we want to really put some energy and effort towards restoring fathers to their rightful place in the family structure by developing this 11-member council. We're going to have pastors, we're going to have community experts who will develop policy. They will develop policy focusing on strengthening fathers and strengthening the family structure in our territory. That is a huge initiative. I really am grateful to the members of the Committee on Government Operations, who unanimously moved this bill forward to the Committee on Rules and Judiciary for further consideration. I'll keep you posted on this bill, and if you have any questions or comments or concerns, don't hesitate to contact me. That's the Responsible Fatherhood Act of 2022, Bill number 34-0055. Now, everyone in this community, I'm sure, is aware of the major GERS initiative that was passed a few weeks ago in session here at the legislature. Bill number 34-0188, which is a significant bond refinancing initiative that's geared towards saving the GRS. We have reason to celebrate today. I know a big part of my initial campaign really focused on GRS. That was one of the major planks of the GRS. Many of you heard me saying that we need to develop a GERS Solutions Summit where we're going to have stakeholders from the central government, the Senate, of course our executive branch, governor and his folks, the people at the GRS, their consultants, their administrators, their members of the board, to all come together under one roof to brainstorm a solution to this very vexing problem that has been plaguing us for so many decades. My colleagues will tell you I am the Solution Summit guy, because every time we have a chance to talk, I tell them, look, we need to come together. We need all entities to come together at one time in one space to hammer out a solution to the GRS. Well, look, we didn't call it a GRS Solution Summit, which is fine by me, but we did accomplish a great thing by, I think it was unprecedented, having the GERS folks, having the members of the Senate, having the Governor Bryan himself and the members of his team on an unprecedented level came together at the same time in working groups to figure out a strategy to fix the system, to improve past initiatives that may have been introduced. But this was a unique opportunity to have everyone there at the table at the same time, hammering out, making tweaks, making suggestions for improvement of the bill that was provided. And what it does is, or what it did was, in the final analysis, we came together, we flushed out some of the individual planks in the bill, and we were able to arrive at some meaningful consensus. All is not over as yet. We can't fully celebrate as yet, because the bill now requires us to go to the bond market, and it requires us to optimize our ability to achieve a low interest rate to ultimately finance the GRS. It's a long-term program. It provides billions of dollars to the system over a 30-year period, so that it alleviates the stress from the system. The system no longer has to cash out its investments in order to pay GRS annuities. You know, so I'm very hopeful. I'm very excited with what we were able to come together to do. I think it puts us in a position where our GRS members, their anxiety level has quelled somewhat, with the expectation that we're going to be able to finally bring a meaningful solution to stabilizing this system's $5 billion unfunded liability. The doomsday clock was ticking. As a matter of fact, the doomsday drop dead date was or is October 1st of 2024. So we are very hopeful and very optimistic that we will be able to successfully forestall this GRS crash and fix the system. After this is done, we have opportunities to examine some structural changes to the system, one of which I would like to see is changing the system at some levels from a defined I lost my train of thought for a second, from a defined benefit program to a defined contribution program that focuses more on creating a 401k type structure. And I think that it will do wonders to attract millennials back to the workforce, because if we can make the pension program a portable one, 401k program, a portable one, where if I give the GRS, or not the GRS, if I give the government of the Virgin Islands 5 years, for example, I will be able to walk or leave with my 401k to whatever job situation that I may be moving towards. So it's something that I think we can look at, we can talk about doing, but let's get past phase one or phase two. Phase one was passing the bill. Phase two is sending this package to market so that we can end up with the funds, the revenues necessary to finance this unfunded liability over a period of 30 years to save the system. So I am very, very optimistic and very much looking forward to that becoming a reality in short order. Another initiative along the lines of the GRS that we were able to pass, and this is an initiative that we spearheaded, the Office of Senator Milton Potter. My initiative was what we call the Return to Work Bill, Bill number 34-0171. It allows retirees to return to work while continuing to receive their service annuity simultaneously. Okay, now I know the word double dipping comes to mind when you hear something like that, but no. What is critical here is that this bill places zero burden on the GRS. I want to repeat it. The bill places zero burden, no burden whatsoever on the GRS. In fact, it offers a significant financial benefit to the system. The system will continue to receive the employee and the employer contributions without the system having the obligation to recalculate a retiree's service annuity. So, retirees will be able to, if passed, and we were able to successfully move our way through the Committee on Finance, I believe it was approximately 2 weeks ago. So it is something that we are very much looking forward to becoming a reality. We developed this bill not unilaterally, not in a vacuum. We were able to reach out to the subject matter experts at the GERS. We tapped the Division of Personnel Director, Sidney Richardson, her key employees such as Group Health Insurance, Chief Valerie Daly. We tapped some of the unions, and Mr. Jerry Jackson was engaged. We had the Office of Collective Bargaining Chief Negotiator, Ms. Josh Springett. We were able to reach out to and share the proposed bill with Gruff, the retiree group's head honcho, Miss Helen Hart, and we were able to receive meaningful ideas and suggestions from these key players with regards to fixing or developing this bill. The bill does a few things. One thing that's really is important for me to share is that it widens the pool of potential employees to help the government of the Virgin Islands fill hundreds of vacant positions. I believe right now we have approximately 1,000 vacant positions that consistently and historically, I was a director of personnel at one point for 4 years, and I was assistant director for 4 years. So about 8 years I've been engaged and involved in this, and we have consistently been unable to fill upwards of 1,000 positions on a regular basis. This bill, so you have a lot of positions that remain unfilled. Unfilled. And an unfilled position doesn't just mean this is something on paper that's unfilled. It means a vital government service is not being adequately done. A vital government service we're not able to fully execute in that regard. So it gives an opportunity for a returning retiree to compete for the job. It's not given to the retiree. Let me be clear. It just makes the retiree eligible to apply for the job, which could not happen in the past. So the retiree can apply for the job. The government has an opportunity to retain institutional knowledge. It gives us an available pool of highly trained individuals who are now eligible to become engaged. We have a lot of our retirees who still have a lot of gas in their tank, and we don't need to just put them out to pasture. You know, this really gives them an opportunity to continue to be meaningfully engaged in the system. They're able to get, continue to get their retirement annuity, and they're able to get their government paycheck, but they are not going to be eligible for a recalculated annuity. They get no service credit, when they return. So it is a win-win across the board. There is, ladies and gentlemen, there is no downside to this initiative. What is clear to me is that our workforce landscape is changing. Millennials now make up a significant part of the workforce in this country, in the Virgin Islands, in the United States of America also. But many of our retirees, returning millennials, are not interested in working for anybody for 30 years. That's just the way they think. My son, I have two young millennials now who are about to enter the world of work, and they're not specifically looking for those types of employment. So we might not get them all to come back to work for the government of the Virgin Islands. Do we need to do a better job of recruiting them back? Yes. And I have an initiative that we're working on to provide an environment whereby millennials will be incentivized to return to work. This is not that bill. This bill allows our retirees to be eligible to apply for positions and to begin to assist in filling some of those positions that have been vacant for such a long period of time. It's an opportunity for retirees to supplement their retirement income. Many of them solely depend on their retirement check for survival. And we all know the rate of inflation and the high cost of living in the Virgin Islands in particular. Many of them are finding it hard to make ends meet. So I am really I'm pleased to offer this opportunity to retirees who are willing and able and qualified to return to work. The retirees, like I said, would have to apply for the job just like everybody else, and the hiring agency or the hiring manager, of course, will interview and decide from the large pool of persons who apply for the position who the best fit, the best qualified person for the job is. So, in a nutshell, that is what the bill does. I believe that it is a win-win scenario across the board. It will generate badly needed income for both the retiree and the GERS, while creating a pool of applicants to fill government vacancies, to fill critical government vacancies. In speaking with Executive Director Nibs, Administrator Nibs, the other day when he came to testify, I mean, he pointed something out that I really didn't even calculate. But if, and we know that it's unlikely to happen, if the retirees, if the vacant position, just thinking about 1,000 vacant positions, and if we average 1,000 vacant positions here at the GVI with a salary at $46,000, and if we apply the Tier 2 rate of 11.5% and the employer contribution rate of 23.5%, the estimated contributions collected by the GERS will be north of $18 million. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is significant. And this is something that we didn't really anticipate fully when we proposed the bill. But it gives the GERS an opportunity to shore up their investment portfolio. Because like I said, right now they are cashing in every month their CDs and investments to make sure that they are able to pay retirees. So they can shore up their retirement or their investment funds, and they can develop programs like reopening, for example, the loan program, which was forced to be shut down because GERS was on the ropes, has been on the ropes for so long. Pension problems isn't unique to the Virgin Islands. I want to make that clear too. Public pensions throughout this country are on the ropes. I believe a collective number is in the trillions of dollars. That's trillion with a T. So I think anything that we can do to help shore up our system is a plus. And bill number 34.0171 really does just that. And you're going to hear a lot more about this program in the coming weeks and months. But it is something that we are very excited about, and we hope that you are also going to be excited about that. We also were the prime sponsors of bill number 34.0090, and we call it the Career Incentive Initiative. It's really an extension of the Career Incentive Program. Right now, you have persons who are peace officers in our territory who run down criminals, who enforce the law, who carry a firearm, who are endangered on a daily basis just by mere fact that they walk around as a peace officer. They are not entitled presently to receive a career incentive benefit. Career incentive benefits really it incentivizes peace officers, police officers, firefighters, correction officers. It incentivizes them to further their education in the relevant field of study, and it gives them a certain percentage added to their base when they complete a course of study, an approved course of study. Right now, you have individuals who are working at the Department of Licensing and Consumer Affairs. You have persons who are working at DPNR, Department of Planning and Natural Resources, persons who are officers at the Department of Health, and our very own Virgin Islands legislature, who, like I said, are exposed to significant dangers of being law enforcement officers while not receiving the benefits like everyone else. It is never too late to do the right thing, and I'm pleased that my colleagues saw fit to support this initiative. It is now, it has passed through the Committee of Rules and Judiciary, and it will be forwarded to the full body for further consideration very shortly. So if you are a DLCA officer, a Planning and Natural Resources officer, a Department of Health officer, or a legislator of the Virgin Islands officer, you've completed a course of study at an accredited institution with an approved course of study, you will soon be eligible for the Career Incentive Program. So that's Bill number 34-0094. We also have a mental health education bill. That's Bill number 34-0086, and that is working its way through the Committee on Education. It's a mental health bill, and it really calls for the expansion of mental health education and instruction in our territory's school system, in our public schools. Ladies and gentlemen, we are seeing an unprecedented uptick in mental health distress across the board, but particularly among our young people. You're seeing instances of suicide on the rise, instances of anxiety on the rise. I mean, our children are in serious distress, and we're no different here in the Virgin Islands. Our children have experienced back-to-back Cat 5 storms. Before they were able to recover from their homes and community being destroyed, they were faced, just think about it, with COVID-19, a global pandemic that has been going on, has been in existence for the past 2 years, keeping them away, isolated and away from their friends and family members at times. It is significant what our children have been experiencing. We think, we know that we need to do a better job and develop a better game plan with respect to exposing our children to age-appropriate instruction in our schools concerning mental health, to eradicate the negative vibe associated with talking about mental health and acknowledging that you need help and support. Mental health issues, it is real. It is something real. We were able to have the support of some of our territory's leading psychiatrists and psychologists, Dr. Laurie Thompson, Dr. Masurvey, persons from the Family Resource Center, families from the Fatherhood Support Initiative, Abdul Ali, and the Men's Coalition on St. Croix. There, we just had a great deal of input and support. It's unfortunate that I started naming names because I know I left out a whole bunch of folks who sat around the same table looking at tweaking, giving suggestions for ways to improve this bill. The mental health of our children is critical. Unfortunately, it is often overlooked because if you're not bleeding, if you don't have a visible sore, a visible sign, and you're quiet, then we assume everything is okay. This bill authorizes the uptake or improvement of an infusion of mental health education in our schools. It also provides instruction and support for the support personnel in our schools, training for recognizing the signs and symptoms of mental health. So it's not just the guidance counselor who is going to be, to have the responsibility for identifying young people who might be in distress. We're talking about every single person, adult and child, who is in the academic environment will on a regular basis receive training on recognizing the signs and symptoms of persons who may be in distress. So looking forward to that bill becoming law also, and looking forward to your input and your support. It is a way for us to strengthen and support our young people. We have a number of other initiatives that we are going to be talking to you about in the coming weeks and months. We have our WAPA Renewables initiative that we will be talking to you a lot more about. WAPA will be mandated to incorporate a higher percentage of renewables on the grid. It is the only way we are going to bring down the cost of utilities in the United States Virgin Islands. It is, while protecting our environment. Propane is a fossil fuel. So I really believe that we need to pivot and focus on expanding the whole notion of including or incorporating renewables in our WAPA grid. But I'll tell you a lot more about that in the coming weeks and months. We also have a significant infrastructure bill, Bill number 34-0068, will be heard in the Finance Committee in the coming weeks. Also, it's a Red Hook infrastructure bill focusing on the expansion of the Red Hook facility, the Fredericks facility, there to accommodate a customs building and to also repair our deteriorating pier in Red Hook also. Upgrading any civilized and sensible society and community like ours that rely on our marine, we are going to have regular upgrades of our system, of our piers. It is important. It is the only sensible thing for us to do. When you talk about Red Hook, close to 500,000 persons come through that Fredericks facility on an annual basis. It's the most popular facility, marine facility in the Virgin Islands. So it's important for us to put some more into building up that facility. My bill does just that, and you're going to hear a lot more about that in the coming weeks and months. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for your attention, for your support along the way as we wrap up here today. You might want to go and cook your dinner. I don't want to take any more time from you getting your dinner in place. But our initiatives, our vision from day one here at the Virgin Islands Legislature, when we were elected, my vision has always been to facilitate common sense solutions that will produce generations of happy, healthy, economically empowered Virgin Islanders. And when we make decisions, every decision that we make, every bill that we produce, every initiative that we challenge will have that in mind. So once again, thank you very much for your support. I work for you. Let's keep that in mind. It's not the reverse. So I look forward to your thoughts, your comments along the way. You can contact my office at 693-3519. Your comments, your thoughts, your ideas are welcome. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.